Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Chana Nabila Marani with student ID A1B20 30 and 52. In here, I would like to tell you about my self-reflection regarding the topics that I have learned in this course, which is the English for Work course. So there are three main topics that I choose from the listed of the topics that I think that is important to improve or to learn more in this topic. And I feel that these three topics very important for me to deeply knowing into this topic. So there are three topics that I choose, which is the first one is professional email and messaging, and the second one is meeting and collaboration, and the last one is professional presentation. Okay, I would like to tell you briefly from those topics, those three topics, why I think it is important. If we connected the three topics, that is correlated. As you can see, it is correlated that it's connected. Used to be in the future jobs later, where usually in the future jobs in your future career you will find like a presentation, how you email your boss, and also how you will conduct a professional presentation later on. So why I choose this tree is because of that reason. It's important to know it, to deeply know it. So now I would like to tell you one by one for each topic why I think it is important to learn it and to knowing it later on. So the first one I want to choose is the professional email and messaging. Why I think it is important, and what do I feel after I learned that topic. So before that, I feel like learning this topic, I feel like I can do messaging to my boss or maybe to my future co-workers. Maybe later on I can chat them easily, like without knowing the ethics, like just regularly chatting with someone, like there's no politeness and something like that. But after I learned about that topic, I feel like we can be more professional. But the professional status is not only about the tone, about the other stuff, but it's more than that. It's like the politeness, the structured, and so on. So at that moment, I feel like this topic is important later on when I want to be someone who I will message to. I mean, like I will message to it. I will give the message to my boss, to my teammates, co-workers, but more politely, more structured, and also have a good impression from those people. The challenge that I found from this topic, there is no literally a challenge for myself, but I think later on maybe I will be difficult in selecting the words that I will choose for the my boss or co-workers later. Of course, later on I will think about like does this words fit perfectly for them to send to them or not, or I have to be more structured, or this is not relatable with how I can send it to them. Yeah, something like that. And the second material that I could think that is important is the meetings and collaboration. So when I learned about this topic, I feel like this topic is important to know. Why? Because at my first impression, I thought that in a meetings or where we meet other people, we can maybe just use the words itself, so not idioms. And I thought it was like that because I thought that using idioms maybe seems unprofessional and something like that. And after I know some idioms that have been learned by the lectures, that I have watched the video, that I was like, okay, so there are some idioms that we can use on the meetings that seems still in a professional way. So for example, I can give is the we can agree to this project whenever the boss giving us the green light. and some others idioms too as well. And I think it is important to know because it could measure our professionality in our language whenever we got a meeting with our future clients later, or maybe with our bosses if we did a meeting internationally or someone who speaks English. And next is the professional presentation, which is the last one too as well. So before that, I have already knowing some of the things or elements that I can do while I did a professional presentation. I mean the presentation itself. But it is not enough to be called professional. So I after I learned and given by the videos by the lecture, I know how to give the presentation, how to give a good and a professional way on the presentation later on. So there are some like tips, there are some like an example which is the bad and the good one. And after I did the practice too as well, I already followed by the video or the examples from the video that has been given by the lecturer too as well. And I think it is effective. It is something important that we have to know because we will need these skills for us whenever what is our job later on, like a teacher or maybe someone who relates with a business. And it is important to know this too as well. So all of the topics too as well, it is connected and it is important to know and it is important to learn to us for learning. And from all of those topics, I didn't really find a challenging way how do I did the practices and explaining the material. So I have learned, I have knowing the topics that has been given by the lecturer. So in my conclusion is that from all of those topics, I mean not those three topics, it is important to know, it is important for us as a future workers or teachers or maybe someone who has related business, something like that, to know how to do how do a professional workers did their stuff professionally and getting a good reputation from the future clients or maybe your future bosses. So I think that's all. I think all of the materials were important for me, and I hope that in the future on I can also improve myself by studying more from these topics, so I can know better. I can improve myself better on later in the future. That's all what I can say. Thank you so much for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.